Welcome back to our channel, where we explore some of the most fascinating, and often overlooked, parts of ancient texts. Today, we're diving into one of the Bible's most intriguing stories. So, if you're ready to see the Bible in a whole new light, keep watching. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible insights into mysterious and lesser-known biblical stories. Now, let's get started. The Bible is full of narratives we've all heard before: the creation story, David and Goliath, Noah's Ark, and the list goes on. But what about the stories that don't make it into sermons or Sunday school lessons? What about the accounts that make us scratch our heads, laugh, or maybe even cringe a little? One of the strangest, most unique tales has to be the story of Balaam and his talking donkey. Yes, you heard that right. A talking donkey. But before you think we've somehow stumbled into the pages of a fairy tale, let's take a closer look. This story isn't about magic or fantasy, it's about human nature, divine intervention, and the unexpected ways God communicates. So let's set the scene. The story of Balaam and his donkey can be found in the book of Numbers, chapter 22. At this point, the Israelites are traveling through the wilderness on their way to the Promised Land, and they've already defeated several opposing kingdoms. Word of their success spreads quickly, and neighboring nations are understandably terrified. One such kingdom is Moab, ruled by King Balak. King Balak knows he doesn't stand a chance against the Israelites in battle, so he devises a plan. He decides to call on Balaam, a well-known prophet, to curse the Israelites. Balak believes that with a curse, the odds might shift in his favor, and he could finally put a stop to the Israelites' conquest. But as we'll see, things don't go quite as he planned. Balak sends messengers to Balaam, offering a hefty reward if he'll come and curse the Israelites. And here's where things get interesting. Balaam actually consults God before making a decision. And, to Balak's disappointment, God tells Balaam not to go and not to curse the Israelites because they are blessed. Balaam listens, for now, and sends the messengers back to Moab empty-handed. But Balak isn't about to give up. He sends an even more impressive delegation, promising Balaam great riches if he'll just do this one thing. This time, God gives Balaam a conditional go-ahead. God tells him, "Go with them, but only do what I tell you to do." So Balaam saddles up his donkey and sets off on the journey to Moab. Now, here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. While Balaam is on the road, God becomes angry with him for going, perhaps because Balaam's motives aren't entirely pure. He might be thinking about the rewards Balak promised, and his intentions seem to be shifting. So, God sends an angel to block Balaam's path. But here's the catch: Balaam can't see the angel. Only his donkey can. As they're traveling, the donkey suddenly veers off the road into a field to avoid the angel standing in their way. Balaam, unaware of what's going on, beats the donkey to get it back on track. But the angel doesn't move, so the donkey tries again to avoid it, this time by pressing against a wall and crushing Balaam's foot. Once more, Balaam beats the donkey. Finally, on their third encounter, the donkey simply lies down on the path, refusing to go forward. Furious, Balaam strikes the donkey again. And here's the moment no one sees coming. The donkey speaks. Yes, the Bible tells us that God opened the donkey's mouth, and she asks Balaam, "What have I done to you to make you beat me these 3 times?" Imagine the shock on Balaam's face. But, incredibly, he doesn't even seem surprised. He actually starts arguing with the donkey. He says, "You've made a fool of me. If only I had a sword in my hand, I would kill you right now." And the donkey responds, reminding him of their long history together, "Am I not your own donkey, which you have always ridden, to this day? Have I been in the habit of doing this to you?" Only then does God open Balaam's eyes, and he finally sees the angel standing in the way, sword drawn. The angel explains that if it hadn't been for the donkey's actions, he would have killed Balaam. Humbled and probably terrified, Balaam repents and promises to only speak the words God gives him when he arrives in Moab. So, what's the takeaway from this strange story? Well, first of all, it shows us that God can work through anyone or anything, even a humble donkey, to accomplish His will. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes, what seems like an obstacle in our path might actually be a form of divine intervention. There's also a caution here about the dangers of greed and the temptation to manipulate faith for personal gain. Balaam is a prophet, a man who knows and hears from God, but even he is tempted by the promise of riches. In this sense, Balaam is a mirror for us all. How often do we let our desires cloud our judgment or push us to ignore what we know is right? This story challenges us to check our motives and make sure we're not pursuing something at the expense of our faith. And there's one more layer to this story. It reminds us that God sees the whole picture, even when we can't. Balaam was determined to get to Moab, but he couldn't see the danger in his path until God revealed it. How often do we push forward, blind to the harm we might be causing ourselves or others? It's a call to humility, a reminder that sometimes we need to stop, look, and listen for the unexpected ways God might be guiding us. Now, you might be wondering why this story isn't a part of your typical Sunday school curriculum. It could be the sheer oddness of a talking donkey or the morally complex character of Balaam, a prophet who's both in tune with God and dangerously susceptible to temptation. But maybe that's why it's so important. This story brings up challenging themes: faith, integrity, obedience, and divine mystery. It's not clean-cut or easy to understand, and maybe that's the point. When we dig deeper, we find that the Bible is full of these messy stories, tales that don't offer easy answers but instead push us to wrestle with complex ideas. Balaam's donkey reminds us that God can reach us in the most unexpected ways, and it challenges us to listen, even when the voice we hear isn't what we expected. So, what do you think? Should stories like these get more attention? Are you curious to uncover more mysterious tales from the Bible? Hit that like button, subscribe for deeper dives into ancient texts, and let us know in the comments if there's a particular story you'd like us to cover next. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the strange and fascinating world of biblical stories. Until next time, keep searching, keep questioning, and keep your ears open. You never know when you might hear something unexpected.